There is one huge problem that is currently troubling a large number of people. It's getting normal and proper sleep. In other words, people can't sleep well enough, they can't fall asleep, they're tormented by insomnia, they wake up in the middle of the night, and then they can't fall back asleep after waking up. Or sometimes they spend the whole night but don't get good sleep and don't feel rested. And then a person who hasn't slept enough loses the ability to work normally, they can't function properly. And sometimes something called sleep inversion occurs. Sleep inversion is when you feel drowsy all day long, but at night you have insomnia and can't fall asleep. Today, let's talk about sleep. What needs to be done for a person to have good, healthy, proper sleep? So, sleep is a normal state of the human nervous system. We spend about a third of our life sleeping. Sleep is not a state where a person's consciousness is switched off. It's a specific state of consciousness, a specific state of the brain. The brain does not completely shut down during sleep. The autonomic centers, which ensure the functioning of the entire body, continue to work. A person still retains awareness, touch, memory, and everything else. The brain continues to function. It's just that the state of consciousness is, in a way, not under control. And during sleep, certain receptors are switched off, for example, vision diminishes, touch decreases, hearing sensations are reduced, and so on. And sleep is also necessary to ensure the brain itself can function properly in the future. There are a few secrets, a few important things that people definitely need to know about sleep. The first is that a person needs to get enough sleep. Enough sleep means dedicating about a third of your time, 6 to 8 hours, to sleeping. Of course, this amount of time can be slightly reduced in certain work situations. For example, when you have important tasks to do or when someone is on duty, in which case they might spend longer periods awake. But this will definitely affect the overall functioning of the brain in the future, causing corresponding sleep disturbances that will trouble the person later on. Therefore, it is still recommended to stick to the 16+8 schedule. A person should be awake for 16 hours and then spend 8 hours sleeping. And it is preferable to prepare a sleeping environment that is as conducive to sleep as possible for the person. This place should definitely be quiet because distracting noises can serve as factors that prevent a person from getting normal sleep. This place must have fresh, clean air, but it should be neither cold nor too hot. It is difficult for a person to sleep when their autonomic nervous system constantly has to do heavy work to maintain the homeostasis of Uru, body. So, if it is cold, the person should be covered to keep them warm. If it is hot, you need to make sure that the body is not in such hot conditions. It will be extremely difficult to fall asleep or to sleep in such a state. And it is also desirable to provide the body with access to fresh air. A person continues to breathe while sleeping, and they need to breathe not just the air that has already been breathed in during the night. That is, ideally, there should be an open window or a vent through which fresh air with oxygen can enter, which will ensure a good supply of oxygen to the nervous system and the brain and provide good rest during sleep. When sleep takes place in a stuffy atmosphere like that, a person often does not have a normal feeling of being well rested after such sleep. And another essential condition for sleep is that you need to prepare for it. Very often people experience overstrain and overstimulation of the nervous system because before going to bed they start watching television, watching some videos, browsing the internet, including YouTube. And because a lot of information comes in during the evening through the eyes and ears, often frightening information, people watch all sorts of conflicts, various murders, all kinds of scary movies and images. As a result, a person's nervous system becomes overstrained and overstimulated. And of course, it becomes difficult to fall asleep for a long time. A person who hasn't gotten enough sleep can't wake up in the morning, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Sleep disturbances develop. That's why you need to prepare yourself for sleep beforehand. Before going to bed, it's essential to calm your nervous system a little. This could be some soothing music, but not images in front of your eyes. It's not only possible, but even recommended to go for a good walk before bed to get some fresh air, breathe deeply, and give your muscles, legs, arms, and lungs some physical activity. And then a person is guaranteed to have a good night's sleep. But this should not involve gadgets, the internet, or your phone, because after that your sleep will be poor, restless, and will occur in the rapid eye movement phase, which does not provide proper rest. And there is one more way you can calm your nervous system during sleep. For this, I use a product. It is made from titanium ceramic. I am showing an example of this product here. Titanium ceramic is a special magnetic alloy that has its own magnetic field, a constant magnetic field based on the mineral tourmaline, which is part of the composition of titanium ceramic. But under no circumstances should you confuse tourmaline products with products made from titanium ceramic. These are completely different things. Products made from titanium ceramic, due to their magnetic field, affect the human nervous system by mechanically increasing the resting potential of nerve cells. That's how it works. In other words, a person is lying on a titanium mat or wearing a titanium ceramic belt. When a person goes to bed, the magnetic field of the titanium ceramic itself leads to a mechanical calming of the nervous system, making it easier for the person to fall asleep. And most of the sleep spent on the magnetic field of titanium ceramic is in the deep sleep phase. There are no dreams during the deep sleep phase. In the deep sleep phase, the night passes in just a second for a person. A person doesn't notice how the night has passed. It feels like you just lay down and you're already awake, but 8 hours have passed on the clock. And during the deep sleep phase, a person gets good rest for their nervous system. And then after such sleep, the rested nervous system is ready to be productive. And sleeping on titanium ceramic is also a very good way to calm the nervous system as a whole and provide a person with quality sleep. Another very important factor to consider is the specific place, the precise time, and how you have properly and effectively structured your daily routine for sleep. So, my dear friends, to solve sleep problems, there's one more little secret that I want to share. You need to wake up as early as possible, but no later than 6 in the morning. And it doesn't matter what time of year it is, how long the night is, what kind of day you have, whether the sun has risen or not. You need to wake up as early as possible, but according to the biological clock built into our bodies, you should wake up no later than 6 in the morning. And you should wake up in a stressful way. It's like soldiers in the army. Company, wake up. Everyone, move out. And you have 45 seconds to get dressed. And waking up as early as possible is vital for activating the proper functioning mechanism of our glands inside the brain, the endocrine glands inside the brain. These are the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. The pineal gland and the pituitary gland produce hormones that regulate the circadian rhythm, night-day, day-night for the human body. Now look at what is used as a medication to improve sleep for people. Oh, serotonin and various other hormones which are normally supposed to be produced in our brain, and they will be produced if a person wakes up early. People object and say to me, how can I wake up at 6 in the morning if I only went to bed at 4:30 and until my brain-me nervous system was completely overloaded with all sorts of gadgets? The solution, friends, is very simple. It doesn't matter when a person went to bed, but getting up at 6 in the morning and being physically active during the first hour of the day is key. First of all, waking up in a stressful way so that adrenaline and noradrenaline from our adrenal glands kick in, so that melatonin in the pituitary gland starts to be produced, and so that all our hormones get activated early, rising in a stressful manner and spending the first hour of the day running, moving, walking, and doing something. And then the fatigue from the work done will ensure that by evening the person will feel pleasantly sleepy. And by 8, 9, or 10 o'clock, they will already be ready to go to bed. A proper daily routine doesn't start with going to bed early, but with getting up early. And then going to bed will happen automatically at the right time for them. And this will provide a good, calm, and proper sleep for the person. Add in turmanium ceramics and the right sleeping conditions, and then a person's sleep improves, the normal functioning of the nervous system is restored, and the person becomes healthy and happy.